him, and to the shock of everyone in the house, Ekene transformed into a genie, small and stout, with thorns and horn on his head, with a skin that gleamed like a polished stone. He began to laugh so hard, and his laughter echoed through the room. As the pastor moved closer to him, he screamed, and at the shout of the name of Jesus, the strange creature disappeared. Adama's eyes widened in shock. She couldn't fathom what she just saw. Was that my husband? Wasn't that Ekene, the father of my unborn baby? No, it can't be. That can't be possible. Mama Ike and Ifoma also couldn't recover from the shock. The pastor calmed everyone and then began to speak. I thank God for revealing the secrets of the devil and shedding light to the darkness in this house. Madam, how well did you know your husband? The pastor asked Adama. I've known him for a year now, and I know his family so well. We had a wedding ceremony, and I can tell you that he's not a stranger to me. I know him so well, sir, Adama replied. Why still in shock? The pastor sighed. Knowing your husband's family doesn't stop you from speaking to God about him before you both got married. If you had spoken to God and asked for direction from the Holy Spirit, God would have revealed to you that this man is from a different world. Yes, he has a family, and yes, you see him as a human being, but he is darkness and should never be friends with light. He is an evil creature that uses the image of dead people to transform into human and come into the world to mix and live among humans. They visit the morgue to find available dead bodies to transform into their images. Look where your negligence in seeking God's guidance has gotten you into. Now, you are even pregnant for a spirit. You are carrying the child of an evil creature. Well, I hope the Lord have mercy on you as you deliver this child. Back to you, Mama Ike. Do you know there are some things that need to be done after the death and burial of someone? When a person dies, that is never the end. They are dead physically, but not in spirit. Our dead need to be prayed for. Once in a while, we need to pray for the dead and give alms in remembrance of them. Have you done anything like this since your son passed away? And to you as a wife, Ifoma, have you ever for once prayed that your husband find peace in the grave? These things preserve the spirit of the dead, and when these things are done, it will prevent evil spirits from transforming into their images and use it to perpetrate evil. Peace be unto you all, the pastor concluded as he left the house. What will happen to Adama now that she has found out that her husband is a ghost, a spirit, and an evil creature who only transforms into the dead body of humans? Adama continued to live her life with the pregnancy after the revelation that her husband was a ghost and an evil creature. She once went to her mother-in-law's house to be sure that the pastor had said the right thing about the family being a bunch of evil creatures. But she met no one at home, and after talking with few of the neighbors, they informed her that the mother and other family members have all moved out of the house, and their new location is unknown. This was when it dawned on Adama that she had indeed been married to an evil spirit. Months later, Adama's water broke. It is time for delivery. The cry of a newborn baby echoed through the walls of the hospital. Behold, Adama has given birth. Adama's face was filled with sadness and worry as a little baby lay beside her on the bed. She didn't plan to be a single mother at this stage of her life. But then, she thought to herself again, whatever life throws at her, she will fight it. Her daughter is a reward. My little pretty daughter, I will care for you forever. I have carried my cross and have accepted my fate as a single mother with no husband. You are my only joy, and I will forever cherish you. No day passed without Adama flashing back to the day her husband transformed into an evil spirit and disappeared. But the more she looked at her daughter, the more she determined never to allow any other man in her life again. 5 years passed and Adama's daughter grew fast. Her daughter became her best friend, and the bond between the two grew stronger. In the coven of the evil spirit where Ekene belonged, he had planned to return to the world using the form and image of another dead person. It is funny of that pastor to think that he can chase me away from hate. Hell no. Women are so cruel. I will rest for now, while I wait till my daughter turns 6 years. Then I can go into the world again in another form to visit my daughter and my wife. Ekene and his coven members laughed. We shall grant you this second request, Ekene. You have an unfinished task on earth and it must be completed. They all laughed mysteriously. It is a culture for them to visit the world and reproduce anytime they desire. They will seek permission from the coven members, and once it is granted, they will visit the mortuary and find any available dead body to transform into their image, and then people begin to see them as human beings on earth. One sunny afternoon, few days after Adama's daughter celebrated her 6th-year birthday, Adama had gone to pick her daughter up from school, and they were returning home when a car broke down. She couldn't find anyone to fix the car, but sooner, a gentle-looking man alighted from his car to help. Unknowing to Adama, he was a Kene in another body. He had transformed into the dead body of another dead human, and is back to visit his daughter and wife after 6 years as he promised himself. The man introduced himself as Paul, and in fact, the car started working after a few minutes of checking the battery. Adama thanked him and he asked for a contact. They both exchanged contact, and Adama was hoping to call him later on to thank him. Both of them went their separate ways, while Ekene, now identifying as Paul, laughed in excitement.
I am about to take my child and wife. I am back. I am back.
He laughed mysteriously as he drove off the car. Adama soon got a call from Paul, the man from the afternoon. Thank you so much for helping me today, Mr. Paul. I am really grateful. My regards to your family, Adama said.
Oh, you are most welcome, pretty woman. Well, God is my only family aside from my parents. I am the only son of my parents, and I have no wife or kids. But I hope that God provides me with a good woman and kids soon.
Paul replied, Oh, I never knew you were single. Well, I believe God will give you a very good woman as a wife because you are a very nice man. They both talked for a while, and Paul ended up asking Adama out on a date. This is just the beginning. Adama agreed to go out on a date with Paul. The date went well, and the two got to know each other. They wine and dine at a nice restaurant, but Adama never knew that another doom is about to befall her. A ghost husband is back again, yet in another human form, prepared to continue living with his daughter and wife. Will Adama fall prey for the second time? The lovely meeting of Adama and Paul didn't leave Adama's head. She kept thinking about the soft words and affection from Paul, but something at the back of her mind kept telling her to be careful. This should be once bitten, twice shy. I can't afford to make the same mistake I made with Ekene. I need to be careful, she said to herself as she soliloquizes. Paul couldn't wait to be with his family. One day, he took his phone, called Adama, and professed his love for her.
Adama, I didn't want to be forward or act desperate when we first met, but I love you so much, and at this point, I can't hold it in again. The moment I set my eyes on you, I've fallen deeply in love with you. I know you're a single mother, but I'm ready to be the father of your daughter and a husband to you as well. Please, Adama, give me the chance to be part of your life, and I promise you will never regret it.
Adama saw it coming. She's beginning to catch feelings for Paul too, but no, she won't fall victim the second time. I will think about it, Paul, she replied him. Adama planned to visit a pastor. She had taken God serious ever since his disappearance of Ekene. She never wanted history to repeat itself. She had always put God first in everything she does. Adama prepared to visit a pastor. Even as she prayed to God for a revelation about Paul, she decided to speak with the man of God to intercede on her behalf. Pastor Ene commended Adama for taking the bold step of seeking God's intervention. We will both pray for 3 days and wait for God's revelation. Be in the spirit and be watchful for the period of these 3 days, and God shall direct us. On the 3rd day of the fervent prayer, Pastor Ene asked Adama to come to the church with Paul. Paul didn't feel good about this. He was hesitant, but he needed to go. He was going to do anything to make Adama accept. Adama had come along with Paul and her daughter. At the sight of the man of God, Paul began to shiver. He started thinking to himself, I'm in the wrong place. I shouldn't be here. Why am I having this feeling? Why does it feel as if someone wants to take my life? No, it can't be. Paul managed to be of a good composure, but the unexpected happened during the prayer session. As they bowed down to pray, Paul began to feel uncomfortable. At a point where he couldn't control it anymore, he started screaming as though he was being burnt by fire. He stood up angrily and grabbed Adama's daughter. As he held her close to himself, He transformed into the same spirit that Ekene had transformed into 6 years ago. My only reason here is for my child. You might not fully belong to me, but my daughter is mine. You humans are cruel. You all did the same thing to me 6 years ago, but now I won't live without taking my daughter along with me. My mission here is complete. Paul disappeared into thin air with Adama's daughter. Adama's scream echoed through the whole building of the church. She fell to the ground and began to cry, shouting in pain and agony. God, why did you allow this to happen to me? I served you with all my heart, my body, my life and my soul. Ever since I gave birth to this child, I've always brought her to your presence. Why? God, why? Pastor Ene calmed Adama and then began to speak. God has not forsaken you. The Lord remains an unquestionable God no matter what situation we find ourselves. The Lord knows best. If that spirit being hasn't come to take his child, he will keep haunting you forever. But now that he has had his daughter, you are forever free from the torment of the evil spirit. Take heart and believe that God will provide a better husband and children for you. Never speak ill of God, but be patient and allow him take charge. Years passed and Adama finally decided to pick the pieces of her life and make it a whole. She knew that she had to be strong. She prayed to God to give her the strength to carry on and to provide her with a better husband and children in the future. God answered Adama's prayers, and months later, she met a good man, and after a series of prayer, he turned out to be pure in heart and free from evil spirits. She finally walked down the aisle with her new-founded love. The pain, the torment, the torture, all of that was gone. She got married, and God blessed her marriage with beautiful twins, a boy and a girl, and they lived happily ever after. We should learn to put God first in everything we do, and deviate from making decisions without praying. Please like and follow for more.